A bit about myself and what I do in my job. I'm an occupational therapist and I've worked for the health board here for 7 years. I work in the older person's mental health service, so we see mostly people with dementia, but also people with anxiety, depression, psychosis. And I work in the community, so I see them in their own homes. My job is about looking at how they're managing their day-to-day activities. I carried out a research project as part of a master's, and my project involved talking to relatives of people who had dementia about the impact that occupational therapy input had had. So a family carer for a person with dementia is really, really key to that person, and it's a role that can present a lot of challenges and can have a big impact on the carer. So it was looking at understanding if our input was helping to support them in that role, and hopefully this will benefit carers because the services will be shaped according to their view of best practice, and consequently hopefully this will have a positive impact on the person with dementia because their carer is coping better in that role. And it's also beneficial to other colleagues because we can look at our own practice and look at what we're doing well and maybe what we could improve on, and compare our own practice to carers' views of best practice.
So when I was referred this gentleman for surgery, he had a big cancerous growth growing on his chest wall. It was growing quite rapidly and it needed to be removed. Once removed, it has the best results. The problem was that if I had to remove that ribs and the breastbone, that would leave a large defect which needed reconstruction. Now traditionally we use a cement prosthesis to reconstruct that defect, but in his case that would not have been very suitable because I needed more robustness for that reconstruction, and that was not going to be provided by the cement prosthesis. He also had comorbidities, which meant that I wanted to keep the anesthetic time as short as possible. So I thought of an alternative, and the alternative was an anatomical rib and breastbone constructed using 3D technology and printed using 3D technology too, in titanium. I've got this prosthesis here, so that is what we then sort of designed and constructed, and I used to replace his rib and breastbone. And then of course with Mr. Braggs's help, we covered the prosthesis with the latissimus dorsi muscle and completed the surgery with very good results.
The nomination was about a service redesign that we've been carrying out for the last 5 years. And this work was about appreciating that what patients actually want from neurorehabilitation is an opportunity to get their lives back, use what they're good at and achieve meaning in their lives. But there was a real mismatch between what traditional healthcare services provided patients, which was very much focused on reducing impairment, which is actually not possible after brain injury. And so what we wanted to do is redesign our services based on improving well-being rather than reducing impairment. And this has really transformed the lives of our patients.
I think what we're doing here is very unique. It's special. That the patients are very supportive, and it's good to see that work being recognised.